process, and I think it's gonna make it for a much more pleasurable experience when they're there at the showroom as well. On the bottom,
We did change the other thing we changed was our carpet colors. Two new colors on the carpets. Yeah, chrome and cameo. So cameo, the two colors that we had were kind of yellowish. Cameo is lighter in color, so we're matching that up with the palettes that have more of the browns in them. And then the chrome has a little bit of a grayish tint to it, so it goes good with like the sarsaparilla cabinets.
Yeah, that's so good.
And that's already gone live as well with the rest of the stuff.
you can tell we literally just got this done yesterday around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I got the PowerPoint done last night, because it still says interiors on the right hand side, so it actually is exteriors. So a couple of things as you'll see with the exterior, same thing. A big pinch point we have at the showroom on pre-sold is putting together a siding, trim, shutters, front door, all those colors. This is gonna hopefully accelerate that as well. And then give it kind of an optional or suggested, if you will, stone or brick upgrade that should go with that. Again, that will go to level 1B or style 1B, 2B, so forth and so on. But on the bottom of the interior palette, to go back on that, so we have some optional upgrades. You've got a granite, and we've got, is it 3 granites? Or is it, I think it's
Yeah, there's
three new granites.
3 new designer granites. That,
Weight wave is awesome.
all 3 of them are used in the pallets.
Yep.
So we are gonna offer 6 designer pack grants for a while because we have to work through some inventory of the current 3. But these 3 are gonna be the new ones going forward in the
So
pallets.
nice.
And then the backsplash is just a white subway tile, which we're gonna be rolling out a new tile manufacturer before the end of the year. And the subway tile is gonna drop down in price quite a bit.
Nice.
So instead of being $600 or $700, it might be $400 or $500. Most of that cost is labor. The tile itself is cheap, but our tile went from like $350 a foot to $150 a foot.
That's awesome.
So we match it up with a white one on all these pallets. And then paint color in the background of that is the suggested paint.
So if somebody wants to change the front door, they're not, that palette's not available? Like if they just didn't like the front door color that,
They can change it.
These are
They can
just,
ch-
these are
okay.
suggested.
Are they
Okay.
gonna go through the entire selections process too? Are we gonna try and streamline it or no?
Yeah, we're gonna go through some training with them, coming up, just to kind of talk through, but this is something that's been, well, this is probably dates back 5, 6 years that we've been trying to look at how do we create this and just get consensus on how we do that, so they're really, really excited about this. These are suggested, they don't have to necessarily go with that color door, or heck, they could even do a black roof if they still wanted to for the, whatever, $100 it costs.
Some of the exterior pallets actually do have a black roof on them. If it's spec'd with a black roof is suggested, then you gotta
Iron
pay
on.
and buy the option for $100.
yeah.
So yeah, you can a la carte. So this is, somebody wants to get creative.
But if they wanted to streamline and pick it, it would shorten their time for sure. Like we could sell that to shorten their time in the showroom.
Yeah, yeah. This is, and you know what, the great thing is it's gonna take us a few months, right? The first mechanical starts for Integrity Collection are gonna hit February. We'll take the first completion date in April and May. So really what we're gonna have is this late spring, summer, you're gonna start having all these homes show up with pallets done
So nice.
with the interiors and exteriors. We're going to talk about this in a minute. We're gonna stage some of these new plans, and collections. Kim, again, we just got these done literally at the end of last week. Kim has already ordered virtual simulated staging for 4 or 5 for the plan, so that you can see the kitchens and the nooks and the family rooms from different angles that we can use for content, that you can use to help show, and they're going to be based on these color palettes. That way you guys can actually have something, and I'm telling you, you will have a hard time looking at what a real photo is and what a virtually simulated stage photo is. They're that close and that similar to each other.
Awesome.
Cool, good question. All right, so palettes, those are all out there, so these are in your binders. And if you have any questions on those, let us know. And yeah, if you want to, the back towards the fireplace displays, the new home showroom, take a look at those. She's got them all set out for you up there, so you can kind of take a peek at them. All right. Drum roll. Right now.
Yeah, the big question.
Okay, so
Dying.
we're gonna hand out pricing. First is the base home pricing and availability in select communities.
Hurry, Trevor, hurry.
I don't see any twos in front of us.
So does anybody see a number that they haven't seen in years on here?
Hey, Rachel.
All right, so on here, yeah, as you can see, we've got now pricing for the first time ever in a long time from the 150s, okay? So we are going to be going live with this, and it's getting loaded today. It'll show up in Sales Simplicity and the portal tomorrow, all the pricing you see there. So the first question you're gonna ask is, why aren't we doing this in every single neighborhood? Well, legitimate question. We did this for a couple of reasons. One, the integrity collection helps us break away from having to reduce pricing and doing things differently for our existing portfolios, elements and classics. By introducing new numbers, we have some new specifications. It doesn't put our backlog at risk, which we all want to be mindful of, right? So this helps us in a lot of new neighborhoods start right from fresh. So great example is Kalamazoo. You've got Centennial, Gilmore, and Grandview Hills, all starting at some significantly lower pricing that we're going to be rolling out. As you go from market to market, Grand Rapids, you can see in here, Edgewood Village starting from $154.90, right? And you're going to see the pricing on here is ranging anywhere from about 10 to, I think the highest one was $34,000 was the highest. I think 34,000 we had dropped in Lansing in one of the communities. So substantial price difference from where we can enter into a market today versus what it was just yesterday, okay? So this is huge, so hopefully you guys are pretty excited about this.
Do we have lot fits and?
All done.
All done?
Yep, they're all live and they're all in there today, so that's gonna be there. So the next thing I'm gonna have Natalie help, or Rachel helps pass out is spec pricing. So we have, I think on this list is 20, I think it's 29 or 30. 26 specs that we have priced and are going to go to market today, beginning today, so these are going to start showing up on the MLS over the next probably course of 2 weeks. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Usually Jody Myers can do about 12 to 15. Hopefully these are a little bit more simple for her to do. It'll probably take her about a week and a half to 2 weeks to get these loaded up. So these are going to become a high priority, and I've already given her instructions to list at least the lowest price point in each neighborhood immediately to go to market. So you're going to start seeing these things hopefully loaded up as early as tomorrow and Friday, and these things are going to get your phone ringing, right? So there's probably going to be a lot of petitioning to Aaron and Lance on who's going to be getting these assignments. Lance likes pumpkin lattes. Aaron likes conversion rates.
So I have a question, Mike, so just because there's a neighborhood not on here doesn't mean it's not coming to that neighborhood?
Potentially, correct.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, I'll give you an example in Detroit. We didn't do it in Oak Grove Meadows, but we made it available in Marion Creek. Partly is Marion Creek, we want that neighborhood to run significantly hotter. And we believe that's gonna have a huge impact on our transition report and sales, not just for the next 2 months, but going into 2019. We're not gonna focus on doing that in a neighborhood like Oak Grove Meadows where you already have 35 homes done. Okay. So, yeah. Larry?
How is this gonna affect appraisals for the homes, just for example, Brightonfield Place, so currently the base price of the 1750 is 231.9, it's dropping to 218.9. How is that gonna affect appraisals, 2x4 versus 2x6? Do appraisers look at that and assess value to that?
We have not seen any appraiser give us any additional value for having 2x6. It's crazy. We don't see appraisers giving us shouldn't say, there have been times that we've seen an appraiser on an appeal that has given us a little bit of value for energy smart versus maybe homes that aren't, but it doesn't give us a whole lot. The good news is, and we've looked at that from an appraisal standpoint too, a lot of these neighborhoods, you're starting off, we're not going up in price, you know, we're basically resetting the pricing. You're gonna have a lot of homes that are already completing that will be at higher prices, so this.
They're going out 6 months forward.
Yeah, so we're gonna be,
We don't have a
Good thing these things come first.
yeah, yeah, so, absolutely.
Mike, what's the ResNet rating? Is it just at code or
No.
for, okay.
No, all of the ResNet, all these homes have been recalculated with ResNet. Is it in the M drive already? No. Okay, today? Okay, so by, just say the end of the week. So we've already gone through with Energy Diagnostics and rated all these homes. So the scoring's all been complete. On average, classics, elements, traditions have all come in right around, you know, 50s to 60. You know, actually, I can't remember the last time I saw a 60.
Right.
They're almost all 55 or so. These we have seen come in at 30% more efficient. Okay, so I think we've been touting 40% as we've been doing now for years. These are going to come in right around 30. You'll see the scores on there, and we'll get those also included into our CMA templates as well.
Are we still gonna do the third-party scoring?
Absolutely, yeah. So the only thing that changes, as Matt said, is it's going to go 2x4 walls, so that means it's now going to be R13, and it's going to go to 95% fuel efficient furnace. So those are the major energy components.
85.
85. 95?
95.
We're
Oh,
at 90
95,
we're
sorry,
92.
95. Can you edit that tape, Karen?
No, you said 95.
Don't worry,
95.
Ray's gonna
You said
listen to
95.
it.
said 95,
really.
everybody else said 85.
Yeah, 95. I'm sorry, yeah,
Negotiating down.
95% fuel
You did it
efficient.
right.
Cool. All
Mike,
right.
I'm sorry,
What?
are these plans approved for Lafayette Falls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good. That's,
We had
that's,
bylaw restrictions in there originally, I don't know if they were able to overturn it with the developer.
Lafayette Falls, there's only 10 home
Yeah.
sites. There's only 10 home sites that had classics that we restricted that area to. These can go into those areas. So that's why the other thing too is why are they in some other neighborhoods is there's gonna be and this will be under the back of your handout here, some frequently asked questions. There's some neighborhoods, it's gonna take us either municipality approval or it's gonna take us developer approval. And if we don't have that control, then it may take weeks and could even take months. But that will be coming too. So that's why I said this is gonna be probably a couple months as we kind of continually have updates coming through with new plans. So we'll talk about that. There'll be more than just what you're seeing today. We're gonna have new plans coming in December and continuing. So we don't think this is just a one time. This will be kind of going. Yep.
So question, like we have style dollars in a lot of communities, does that apply to Integrity?
Sorry, that's some awesome questions. There are style hours. There's a style update that's going to be hitting your inbox in about 12, literally 30 minutes. Integrity will not have any style hours. Okay? So we are going through, and we have an update you guys will get that has style in some neighborhoods still. So for example, Kalamazoo, we still have it in all of the Applegate trails, Applegate Woods, Copperleaf, but we will not have it in Centennial, Gilmore, or Grand Neighborhoods, right? Or Sky King, for example. So there's some neighborhoods where, you know, we really want to get the lowest pricing available today. By adding style to it, we wouldn't be able to accomplish that. We'd actually have to raise the pricing up to give a $5,000 style credit. So we think this is going to be, we went super aggressive. Scott was with us all day yesterday. He's like, let's be aggressive. Let's get this pricing down, let's give this to the market, and let's see what this is. We can always take pricing up. And that's what will happen, I think, when we get this rolling, is that you're gonna see us, just like we used to do back a couple years ago, you know, it would be on a daily basis. We sold 2 homes in a neighborhood, base prices go up by $5,000 tomorrow. Okay? The good old days.
Take it easy. I have a question. So I see RCC on here. Does that mean the pre-solds are going to be available for the new phase?
RC, not for West yet. So
Okay.
this is getting a little bit ahead of that. We have to work through the HOA on that.
Okay.
So stay tuned. There's still Tom and Jim Sanderson. Jim Sanderson's working on that too.
Okay.
I see here that the new Integrity and then it's in parentheses former, whatever other plans, the classics. Are we still gonna have those classic plans too, or only Integrity?
So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this out. We've got a lot of backlog, and much of our backlog with classics still extends all the way through to July and August of 2019. there's going to be a notion of keeping that there for the backlog purposes. But going forward, as we move through into, you know, a further development of integrity, where we actually have the plans developed, you could see that some plans move exclusively into integrity, and classics may or may not be where it is today. It may be completely different, it may not be here. So what we think, and we're kind of making this bet, is that the market's gonna respond to these price points being 10 to 30 grand lower. And that's what they're gonna want. And they're not gonna necessarily want, you know, what we think is 2x6, or they want, you know, all this other stuff. So that's kind of the notion, but it's gonna take us some time to move those through. We don't wanna spook, you know, anybody as far as our backlog, telling them that, that plan no longer exists. You know, that would be something we wanna do.
But if we had a pre-sold buyer today, we could still sell it if they wanted the classics versus, which I don't know why they would, but if they wanted it versus the integrity.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's gonna be some buyers that may. I mean, you know, everyone here has done a great job. I've seen almost everybody do the total cost of home ownership in one form or another. And, you know, when you do that and you have some additional elevations that you can't do in integrity, there may be people who go and, you know, move to that direction.
What are some of the items that are, so that we're all educated on the difference between integrity and the other collections? So,
Yep.
what I'm noticing, garbage disposal is the sign, under gas, are there other things that we can know about?
So if you guys go to your list, I think it was in your pocket, right? So the big things are, on here, structural framing of the walls, right? So it's gonna go 2x4. Gutters and downspouts. Oh, yeah, it's an option. Gutters and downspouts are an option.
Are we gonna put those on the specs?
No, the gutters and downspouts, we wanna treat like a garage door opener. So that, you know, garage doors opener is something that you guys can add on any spec home. It's pretty easy, we just go right out there and throw it on. Gutters are kind of the same way, we can add it at any time. So on this first batch, where aren't gutters on any of them, but if you guys sell and somebody wants gutters, there's an option in there, pick it at time of sale, and we'll go out and put gutters on the home.
What do gutters run, just roughly? Curious, I have no
Remember that?
idea.
It's like $500 or $600.
Oh, that's not bad.
They're more than garage door.
The option's set up, and sales and post so all that pricing should be there.
Okay.
So we talked about plumbing, so you saw the garbage disposal. HVAC, so again, 95%. Insulation walls are 13.
Switch an outlet only. Oh, so the garbage disposal is not
Air
included.
conditioning is, yeah, AC is still included with all the homes.
Humidifiers coming off?
Humidifiers only on specs. We only do that in traditions, elements, and classics today. We don't, it's not included yet in any plan. Electrical is 100 amp. Phone and cable, I can give you guys an example. All the specs that we just cut, every one of those specs has cable in the, we say master, in the second living area that has it. But one cable, one phone, standard. Lighting.
Oh, light fixtures.
The,
The hallways, like on the second floor, instead of having all the lights all over the place, they come with cans, but they're like the surface mount flat LED cans. So they don't have a big housing, they're kind of like a, They look, yeah,
I can't tell a difference.
and they're a fraction of cost. And have you added that as a global option yet?
Yes.
So we also added that. We're gonna go back through later and update the rest of the collections and do the same things, because they'll look better than having 3 lights in one
Right.
little hallway upstairs, on the stairs. So
Do they have those in the showroom today?
they might have one over there. I don't know. It looks like a normal can. It just hangs down a little bit further. It kind of comes down like this on it. And then we have that as a global option, so that when people pick cans, it's pretty expensive to pick cans right now. 135. What's the new one?
I would say it's like half that.
It's even less than that. I thought the cost on them were like fraction. So it might be like $50 a can or something.
Oh, that's good. That's
So
awesome.
that you'll see,
So crazy.
standard on like hallways and stuff, and then the ability, like when you do a kitchen or a great room, you know, it's less than half the cost now to do that.
So good.
Cool.
When I finish my basement, that I have fun.
Yeah, but like,
Upstairs and second floor.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, windows are the same, however, we talked about this a couple months ago. Silverline just got bought out by Plygem, and they just made a transition to their website on Monday. So this will be changing slightly, when it will no longer say Anderson, although we have up to a year to use that. We're gonna probably change that more quickly. Interior doors, no change. Interior paint is the alabaster white, so that's the difference than that bright white.
And the eggshell. Yeah.
And the eggshell finish, sorry, yeah.
It's gonna be, no, it's gonna be flat walls, textured ceiling, except for Detroit will still be flat ceiling. So it'll be the same as what you're used to getting in Elements. The only difference is it's the eggshell everywhere. So instead of flat walls, semi-gloss trim, now it's just eggshell walls, eggshell trim.
Ceiling,
Eggshell ceiling.
eggshell ceiling.
Yep,
All,
yep, everything.
yeah, all collections.
It's like an eggshell
And you're-
paint on one off.
And we'll get,
Oh, you're saying all collections?
No, only
No.
integrity on that one. Yep.
okay, so but just so you know, we're gonna update this for the elements, classics, and traditions coming up too. There's gonna be a couple of changes, so you'll see that hopefully coming soon. Shelving. Hardware, no. Cabinets, of course, that's gonna go birch, that'll change with all collections as well. Countertops. That's it. All right, and so again, you guys we'll get the new one out here for elements and classics and traditions coming up. All right, the last thing I've got here, and we'll switch over to marketing real quick, is just the schedules. With Integrity, we've actually been able to update the schedules now. Integrity now is going to be 47 workdays, so cutting time out of the schedule. That's big for us as a company. It's also big for our schedules. Classics and elements and traditions that are 2350 and under are now going to be at 48 working days. And traditions that are over 2600, of course, is larger, more complex. Those are going to be coming in around 51 days. So you'll see an email that's got the actual schedules, all the different ones on the bottom there. Again, just as you do today, do not send those to buyers. Those are for internal use only. But to help you understand when certain things are happening on certain work days, the rest of the periods are all built into there, so we're all good on that. Cool, all right.
The other thing on these are the base templates on the schedules, so the way we're doing the schedules now is, the schedules change depending on what options people pick. So if somebody picks a finished basement, or they pick a big trim package with stairs and everything, they add days. So when you send that out, it'll have that on there kind of too, is these options affect the schedule in this way, is add a day to trim, add a day to paint, whatever. So this is kind of like the baseline schedule, and then it adds up from there. But overall, the schedule should drop about 10 days. It's not gonna affect timelines right now until we get going on this, but eventually, you know, you could see the timeline shorten up a little bit on that too.
Well, for customers, we should just adhere to that. It shouldn't get complicated.
Right.
All that
It's the same thing you've been given.
This is just for archives internal, so you guys know what we're on the schedule. So, kind of on the marketing side, guys, and some of you have seen this with the e-blasts that have gone out. Some of you who have social media here, like Trevor is a huge consumes social media so much.
You can't keep them off.
Yeah, he's still down his phone all day long. But a couple of things that we're working on this is kind of the whole marketing, you know, what is it about? So it's user, and it's all about energy efficiency to own, more style, new, more space on a practical budget. And really the tagline becomes you can find it here. So this is what we're developing and sending out on social media. I'll let Rachel kind of brag a little bit about what we did in our first one. It was pretty spectacular. But this is what we're going to be developing over the next several months. And our content, our imaging, that's going to go out there. It's really around what many of you remember is that 1-3-1, right? You've got one budget, you've got 3 buyers, and there's 1 builder. And the 3 buyer profiles we see in this is there's that single buyer, you know, meet Nicole. Nicole wants cool stuff. She wants style. She's a millennial, and she's very social, and she's very active. So the imaging and things that we're gonna do with her buyer profile is gonna reflect just that, and that's basically, that's Nicole. Then you've got a family buyer, we'll call them Meet the Johnsons, and by the way, these names may change. You know, we might use like the Bethel family, because it's like, you know, the ones right ripped out of a magazine. They want space, they want yard, they play in the backyard, board games, cooking, dinner together. So the imaging and all of the things that we do around this buyer profile is gonna be geared towards speaking to this buyer who's looking out there, right? They're currently renting, they're in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, you know, they want a backyard, they wanna play together, they're gonna see the imaging with that. The last one is a couple, and this is, we call them Steve and Monica. They want both space and style. They want maintenance free. They're celebrating Friendsgiving. They've got football Saturdays when they watch at their house, and they're binge watching Lost on their couch. They watch Lost. They're binge watching. Yeah, they've got, you know, their favorite thing to talk about is what's on Netflix. You know?
Steve and Monica are boring.
So what we're going
They
to
should
be
be
doing
watching
is
porn because
we're
they're
seeing
not.
a lot of time and money spent on these things to help promote these. And what we've been working with, and Rachel just got back from a BDX conference in Austin, Texas, was just around that, and working with our BDX, the VP of BDX, to help us kind of really understand what we're doing that's really successful and continue to do, and some things that we're going to kind of broaden and expand on. So I'll have her talk to you a little bit on that, or on the social media.
Yeah, so here's some of our marketing ads. So yeah, at the BDX conference, it was all kind of about how a huge target is millennials, and millennials love social media, and just people in general love photos with people in them. They did a ton of different study groups, and photos with people actually got the most kind of views and the most click-throughs and clicks. The genres that are best performing, 1 is good-looking women. 2 is cats and dogs. 3 is children. 4 is good-looking couples. 5 is families, and it kind of just goes down like that. So we kind of want to aim at those because, I mean, we want what performs best. So that's kind of, we've been really working on lifestyle photos. I'm Pastor Armstrong, as you guys can see. So we want people in the photos. People like photos that actually have people in them. So we're going to do that kind of seasonally. This was kind of our fall shoot. We'll be doing some winter ones. We'll be doing summer ones. The summer ones will kind of focus more on kids playing outside. Even the winter ones will have kids building snowmen, having a snowball fight, women making Christmas cookies, a mom and her daughter making Christmas cookies, kind of things like that.
A pretty mom and her pretty daughter. Good-looking mom and a good-looking daughter. Let's be.
Lance, there wasn't any room for men in it.
Hey, Rachel, the lifestyle photo there with all the women sitting together, is there a way to make that more realistic? Because that's not realistic in today's environment. It's the women all sitting next to each other, maybe with a wine in one hand, but it's certainly with a phone in the other.
We actually have some that I have a phone in my hand and some of them.
We took some, that's a laptop.
Right.
Yeah. That's an actual laptop.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Unless it's mine, it's a
And that's an
5.
actual cat.
Oh, you're kidding.
But yeah, so those are kind of our focuses that we really want to, and we've seen those performing really well already. We're posting 1 a day on social media on Instagram. So we're posting a mixture of the lifestyle photos and then some just with our interiors, some of our homes. So we have that, and then we're also doing an ad right now, and the ad's gotten tons of click-throughs to the website page that we have, which is to the right there. And then last but definitely not least, we sent out our first e-blast, and in the first 45 minutes, we had 7 registrations, so people had clicked onto it and registered. And we never get registrations from e-blast. I mean, that's just not the way kind of e-blasts work. It'll bring people back to the website, but people very rarely re-register after that. So that was a huge success. And then we'll be having those e-blasts go out the rest of the week. We'll have 1 today, then 1 Friday, and then 1 Saturday. So they're performing really well, and we're going to kind of continue to do that. But yeah, we're taking kind of a different turn in social media, and we're seeing really, really good success with it.
So one thing you'll see on the far left hand side, that is a sample of what's going out this week. It's already gone out.
Yeah, that went out yesterday. But the next one with that photo will be going out today. And then these are just posts on Facebook. So it's kinda good to see, we're reaching that many people to reach, and with clicks, post engagement, those are huge. So, I mean, we don't see those kind of conversions with any other, items that we post, so. People are liking this, they're picking the lower price points, and, liking integrity, so it's been a success so far.
So as we see on the left-hand side, the e-blasts are gonna go out, are gonna have that countdown that's on there. And what our goal is that this is all gonna go live, and we wanna hear our realtors too, any prospects we're working with and leads, is that it is at 12 o'clock on 11/10. Okay, so November 10th, it's Saturday, that is the grand opening launch of the new Integrity Series. Now, we're gonna have a lot of teasers that are gonna go out over the next couple days. We're gonna have beginning tomorrow, teasers about from the monthly payment, or from the, price points, and then monthly payments. So I got done calculating, late last night, the first monthly payments. We have a whole batch of homes in almost every market, starting from under $1,200 a month. Principal, interest, and taxes. So we're gonna try to use that. This was just kind of the pre-imaging, kind of the teasers, if you will. But the launch, as you can see, that countdown. If you go on the Integrity Collection, it's now live on the website, and everything brings you back there if you're clicking on anything from the e-blast. It's gonna go to that landing page, which is gonna give you that countdown clock that's running to 12 o'clock on 11/10.
And Natalie forwarded you yesterday the e-blast, so everyone has that e-blast and the link to go to the website, to that page on the website as well. And she'll continue to forward those out to you, just so you can kind of see, what each e-blast looks like, so.
Yeah, so you guys can read through that. So launch date is 11/10. The MLS listings are gonna begin. Jody has those as of, she'll have those today. Your managers will be assigning the first, I have 7 or 8, is that how many I put on there? We have probably 5 or so maybe it's 6 or 7 that are on there. So those are gonna get assigned today in the MLS. We are still planning on doing product and manufacturing home showroom training in 2019. We don't know if it's gonna be January or February yet, but there's gonna be some transitions, as Jim talked about, new manufacturers, some new product that's gonna be there. And we're gonna make some changes to the home showroom too, as far as the interiors and what it's gonna look like. So that is still coming up here in 2019. What I did put on there, and you guys already asked a lot of them, which is really good, is kind of frequently asked questions. So I kind of added on here some questions that kind of popped in my mind, and I'm sure that you guys may have, maybe you guys have more. Before you do that, let me go back one step. Broker program. This is probably the number one thing that we have got to accomplish in the next, call it 6 weeks. It is your referral network, okay? It's going to be your realtor. So I've tasked both Lance and Aaron to work with each of you to make sure that over the next 5 to 6 weeks, because I know we're gonna have Christmas or Thanksgiving coming up, and then we're gonna also have a sales trip for over half of you, that we're going to lose a week and a half in there. So we're gonna give it 6 weeks. Now,